Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Sunday Live at 8 p.m, where we are going to discuss this week's hot topics, including Ben Habib, Nigel Farage, Tommy, the Grooming Scandals, Piers Morgan blocking Paul Thorpe, amongst other issues. So we've got a lot lined up today. Again, with me is my guest, One Gen Media. Hello, One Gen. How are you?
Hello, Real British Media. Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back. We've got a lot to discuss today. Let's have a few people filter in before we start playing any clips and that.
So, go for it. I'll check out the comments for you.
It's been quite an eventful week, hasn't it? There's been a lot going on.
It sure has.
A lot of hot topics to discuss. So, I suppose we could just start with the first one, of course, is the biggest topic at the moment is the Grooming Gang Scandal, of which the disgusting Labour government refused to look into. Obviously, we have the video clip of the vote result.
The ayes to the right were 111, the noes to the left 364. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock.
The noes have it, the noes have it. It's a disgrace. 360 odd people voting against an inquiry into these victims who deserve a fair trial. And this really deserves to be looked into. So I don't know why that many people decided to vote against it. 111 did vote, and those of, none of them were Labour. So what a surprise there. What are your thoughts on that voting decision?
Well, it was an absolute disgrace, but what do we expect from a Labour government? I mean, we were ready for that kind of decision anyway. There has been a couple of bits of breaking news since then, though. There's been a Labour MP that's come out and actually voted against it, hasn't he?
That's right.
I saw that today.
That's right. I haven't got the details of it at the moment, but there was one Labour MP that has finally spoken up, and I think even Elon Musk reposted on his X account the guy who's doing it. So, credit where credit's due. Good on him.
His name if you want.
Yeah. Good evening, Bluebell. Welcome back. Welcome
Hi,
back to
Bluebell.
Live. It's got a few people in at the moment. They're slowly creeping in. But going on. Yeah. So based on the vote and elaborating how we can fix the problem, there was an amazing find by Ben Habib where he realised that we actually have a treaty to sort out this issue and send Pakistani criminals back to where they came from. I, of course, did a video of that on my channel, which is there to view, the full interview. But let's just play this clip by Ben Habib. This is just a short clip from the whole speech.
Well found from Ben.
To give you the gist of what he's got to say about this treaty that he's found.
I did a bit of digging around, and guess what? There already exists a Pakistan prisoner transfer treaty between the government of Pakistan and the United Kingdom. But we haven't taken advantage of that treaty. We haven't invoked it in order to send people back to Pakistan. So I took things one step further. I spoke to a fairly senior friend of mine in one of the law enforcement agencies in Pakistan, and I asked him whether Pakistan would be reluctant or somehow would resist taking back its own nationals. And he said absolutely to the contrary. If the British government were to bring to the attention of the Pakistani government that there were Pakistani nationals in this country who had committed these atrocious crimes, that the Pakistani government would be absolutely delighted, willing and able to take them back and to face the full force of punishment in Pakistan. And as I imagine anyone watching this video will know, punishment in Pakistan is draconian and correctly draconian for people who commit paedophilia.
Yeah, so that's what Ben Habib had to say about that.
Yeah, no, I just want to say...
Draconian measures.
Before you carry on, though, I mean, Ben Habib seems to be the only person trying to do some digging, actually, and get to the bottom of, options that we've got regarding this whole issue in the country. So just want to give Ben Habib an extra mention then for finding that, because that was very, very good bit of information, I thought.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's the only one, he's one of the only ones that actually care and is trying to do something about it. Just a shame that he's not in Parliament. Hopefully one day we'll get him there. But as Bluebell says, love Ben, he's great. And I think that resonates to most people. Ben Habib is a great character, and what he does and what he believes is just excellent. So, yeah, the fact that he'd done some digging, and of course, being from a Pakistani background, Ben Habib obviously has connections in the Pakistani government. So,
does he?
If Keir, yeah, he does, and that's what he said there. He basically said in the full interview, Keir Starmer, give me a call and I'll put you in touch. So the options there, it's on the table, right? Keir Starmer could contact Ben, say, okay, who's his contacts? Give them the contacts to the Pakistani government, who will say, yes, we'll take them back and we'll deal with them by our own laws. Now, when Ben Habib speaks of draconian measures, he's talking about the death sentence for the criminal of pedophilia. So if they were to be sent back to Pakistan, which would be great for us, because at the end of the day, they're not from here. So if they're filling up our prisons, they shouldn't be. Rightfully so. They should be going, to their own countries and serving their sentences there. But again, as I say, it's pretty much the death sentence if he were to do that. Now, I can't see Labour basically issuing a death sentence, because to send them back home for Pakistan to deal with is basically saying, I'm sentencing you to death. So what's Labour going to do?
That's going to coincide with human rights, which is what makes it difficult, I suppose, to send them back. But I mean, it's a contract, didn't Ben say? So if it's a contract that the governments have had, and I believe that's with any government that's in charge in Great Britain anyway, that contract is in place. So I mean, if there's a contract in place, maybe there's a way of still doing it. But obviously, you know what their solicitors are going to say. It's going to say it goes against human rights and this, that, and the other. And it was the reason most of them were fleeing the country in the first place, wasn't it? Because of their draconian. But then why bring them here? All these,
but that's what the contract. That's what the contract is. The contract says that we have that treaty, and we are able to act on it. Like, if we want to send them back to Pakistan, to their home country, we can do it, and that's what Ben Habib is saying. But like I said, that's theoretically sentencing them to death, because that's how they'll be dealt with in Pakistan. I can't see Labour making that decision. So in my mind, they're just going to turn around, either cover it up or keep them here, because, Labour aren't going to send anyone off to get a death sentence in their own country, are they? I mean, it's Labour, let's face it.
I know. It's not good. Look at the amount of laws and different things they're passing in Parliament at the moment with their majority. So that's probably not going to happen, is it? But
no. So it's great that it's there, but I can't see any benefit coming of it. But we can only hope, cross our fingers. The King should be ashamed. It is His Majesty's government. The whole world is talking, but what do you expect?
It is His Majesty's government, and he has got the power to dissolve Parliament as well. If there's underlying threats to the country that's coming directly from Parliament, and he's got the right to dissolve Parliament. And I mean, if you look at some of the things that are happening and what you've got coming up in your show later on, Real British Media, there's a lot of things that are endangering our country that are coming directly from the Parliament.
There's a hell of a lot of things endangering us, and of course the King. I mean, he should be ashamed. Any general people would think, he should be ashamed. But I believe that the King is Labour, so I know they say they stay away from politics themselves, they don't vote. But I think if the King was to vote, I think he would have voted Labour. I think he's on their side, and we've seen that from some of the decisions that he hasn't made so far that he could, like dissolving Parliament and highlighting this issue. But even in his speech, his Christmas speech, etc., he basically said, our diversity is our greatest strength. No, it's our greatest division.
Diversity is dividing us. I do agree on that.
So, as much as he's the King, he's not my King. And I don't fancy a trip to the Tower of London to be offed with by the King for calling him out, but we've got to call it as it is. And he's not doing the right thing for Great Britain, so he should be ashamed of himself, as Bluebell mentioned.
The King's stance is he's not going to lower himself to get involved in common politics in the House of Commons. is what I'd first think. But I mean, when he spoke his oath, when he took over as being king, you know, he swore to defend our laws, defend our faith. So I mean, all these anti-blasphemy laws that the Parliament are putting through as well, that looks to me like it's in direct contradiction with the King's oath. So we'll need to get some more information on that. But I've tried to cover it briefly and have a look, and I mean, it's all there in black and white. But who's there to?
I just think it's just
you know.
I think it was just it was a devastating day when the Queen died, because the Queen was great for this country. You know, she'd been through the war herself. She helped rebuild this country, and I believe she had our best interests at heart. And since she's died, of course, we've now got King Charles, who I don't believe does have our best interest at heart. I don't even think he wants to be there, to be honest. He might even abdicate. Who knows? But coming after King Charles, we've then got Prince William. Now, Prince William, I've always said I look forward to the day that he becomes king. He's more my king than his father. But there's a lot of rumours circulating that Prince William is an atheist. And I think he's even said it himself that he struggles with Christianity. And he would struggle being the head of church if he became king. So, you know, what future have we got? We're trying to build back this nation on Christianity and Christian values. And Prince William, if he is an atheist and he doesn't continue with that once he's king, then it's still not looking good for us, is it? So,
I mean, should I check that to make sure, or have you actually got that as a fact? It's not Harry, is it?
Yeah, no, I did. I've seen a couple of things that mention that. I think that is true. I haven't seen any solid evidence to say he's an atheist, but from him saying that he's uncomfortable being the head of church and he struggles with Christianity, I think that is his way of saying, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in Christianity, and therefore I'd have trouble following that. Or
I mean, we need somebody else back at the head of the Church of England anyway, because the Church of England, as we know, has been infiltrated by the same people that have infiltrated government and other public sector areas. So I mean, until you've got somebody else back in the head of church, it's actually got the churches, the church at the forefront of what they believe in to make it better and stuff. You know, there is going to be no looking up to the church, even from Prince William, I think, because you need to have people in there you can trust, that you can look up to, that are doing the right things. I mean, the video that I shared of Reverend Phil Cannon, a couple of days ago, you know, the things he said, somebody like that, you know, somebody like Father Bishop Daywell, you know, somebody that's a strong leader that wants to bring the church back to, you know, to its Christian values. I mean, it's already kind of gone off the path with a lot of the diversity and the inclusiveness it's had to take over the last 14 years as it is. You know, I think it should stand firm and go back to the values and stick to the values personally.
But then the Christian in this country is a mess anyway, isn't it? What with all the dirty bishops and the dirty priests.
That's what I'm saying. It's been infiltrated. You have to get that out. You have to remove the rots and then start building it up again. It's not going to be done quickly or easily, but it needs to be done.
No. I mean, the biggest topic is these, you know, grooming gangs, the Pakistani rape gangs, etc. And everyone's, you know, there's an outcry. Rightfully so, and it should be dealt with. But at the same time, you know, it's happening within our own Christian, you know, in our churches, you know, bishops, etc. They're also causing these heinous acts, and they should be dealt with, you know, just as much as the Pakistani grooming gangs, and I believe they will be. But left, right, and centre, that keeps coming out. So we've got 10 watching now. Thank you all for joining. I'm sure the numbers will creep up as well.
Please like and subscribe.
Later on in the show.
Help the video.
Please like and subscribe. Yeah, comment, make your comments, ask your questions. That helps the algorithm as well, and we can answer your questions. Give us something to talk about. So, yeah, moving on from the Groom Gang scandal, or if I can find it, not necessarily moving on, but elaborating. We had Elon Musk, who's been tweeting. We love a bit of Elon Musk, so let's discuss Elon Musk. So this was a tweet that he put out earlier. Now, originally, he responded with at the bottom there, what a creep, in terms of the news of this Labour either captain coming out. You know, there was a sting where he was going to meet a 15-year-old boy, 15 being underage, and therefore the sting group got him. rightfully
Is this
so.
the
Good
Labour?
job.
Is this the Labour MP that we saw today?
This is, yep. And of course, again, like Elon Musk, you know, he's been right there straight away, posting, reposting about this guy now. You know, in Britain, these sting groups go after people, and these people, you know, go under the radar a little bit. You've now got Elon Musk tweeting it to the world, anything like this that is happening. So, and he's done so here. And then, of course, he reposted his own post saying what a creep, and put, and of course he has pronouns in bio. I mean, you look at that bio, I mean,
I heard that earlier.
But yeah, so, you know, anything grooming relating, we're calling it out, and therefore we're highlighting this as well. And so is Elon. So well done him. That's what I say.
Is that all you've got from Elon today? Because if it is, I've got one more.
No, there's a few from Elon. I mean, going on from that as well, Elon, of course, also posted, like I say, he's, you know, Elon Musk is heavily invested in what's going on in this country and trying to better it. So all of this grooming scandal thing, Elon's posting, he's tweeting, he's you know,
he's raising awareness to it. That's exactly what I was about to show you.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, he's raising awareness, and you know, who better to raise awareness than Elon Musk, who probably reaches the biggest amount of people around the world when he posts something. So yeah, this list was discovered where there are 50 known Labour pedos who have been found and
how many more
dealt with in the past. Exactly how many more? Probably how many? 360, or was it, that voted no against the inquiry? Who knows? But yeah, there's a list of 50 of them. They're all named, they're all shamed, who they are, what they did. And, of course, Elon Musk has retweeted that as well, reposted. Wow, because it is astonishing. 50 Labour. And like I say, there's many more. So, part of this whole cover-up of the grooming scandal, etc. Well,
got some comments. Welcome,
they're going to be covering
rival.
up their own asses, isn't they?
Welcome, Brum Pilgrim. Late Arrival says, what about Errol Musk? Is he good for Britain like Elon? I've seen a couple of videos from Errol Musk.
If I remember, Late Arrival was being a bit of a troll last time in the comments, but hopefully you're not going to be as bad tonight. So yeah, so we'll put that up there. Errol Musk, is he good for Britain like Elon? You know, to be honest, I can't really comment on that anyway because I don't know much about his father. You know, Errol Musk believes that Tommy Robinson will be Prime Minister one day, and a lot of people are saying, oh, he's Elon Musk's father, he must know what he's talking about. But yeah, but as other people are saying, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and it's a load of nonsense, because no matter how much we like Tommy, he's never going to be Prime Minister because he doesn't want to get into politics. So who knows? Tommy could one day say, yes, I will get into politics more and I will run for a seat. Maybe even be PM one day. Who knows? We can only hope. But for now, he's not interested in politics. He's interested in, you know, journalism, highlighting these issues and activism. And he's doing a damn fine job at it. And he has been doing so for the past God knows how many years. So, yeah, let's not lose him to politics. Let's keep him uncovering the truth because he's good at that. So, yeah, Bumper. Brum Pilgrim.
Tricky one, that.
We should be tolerant of who? I guess, please, no violence. Yeah, well, no, obviously we're not calling for violence. If we use the treaty and get these Pakistani grooming criminals sent back to Pakistan, and they will be dealt with by the death penalty, you know. So if Labour was to send them back, he would theoretically be doing that, which is a term of violence. I don't know, actually, but yeah, no, we're not violent. We just want to call things out, tell it how it is, and get the world watching, get more ears listening, and yeah, peacefully protest and all of that. Big loudspeakers, getting the message heard. On this channel seems okay. Was worried at first. No violence on this channel. Oh, is that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, none on this channel. We can't really show any violence or violent videos on this channel anyway because YouTube don't allow it. So we can only discuss them in terms of how we can. So, yeah. Late Arrival again, just asking, was there any Tory Pedros? Fair question. It is a fair question. Not that I know of.
Have to ask Elon Musk. He's bringing out all the evidence.
Not that I know of, anyway. I've never seen anything posted or anyone highlighting any issues within the Conservative Party. I'd say, I wouldn't say it's 100% fact that there's no vetoes in the Conservative Party. I would probably assume that there are. We just don't know about them or haven't heard of them, unless we have and I've missed it. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're not.
There was a lot of Labour defectors that went to the Tory Party and vice versa, isn't there? Especially over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
maybe.
But yeah, I mean, I think if there were to be some within, I think that would probably have been highlighted as well, because it's not something that the British people are going to stand for. So any issue like that, nonsense going on, then yeah, it's going to be highlighted. So I think we would have heard about that on a larger scale. So that is what we have in terms of grooming scandal news, Elon Musk posting, and this Labour wrong being, what do they call, stung? Is it? They've been caught. These things.
Caught, stung.
Ding. Let me put my phone on mute because we don't want to ding. Right. So what else do we have? We have, of course, these girls now, these Welsh children who are promoting migrants to come to the country. Also something that Elon Musk posted about, which he highlighted. So this guy, Cillian, in Wales, the Welsh Refugee Council is using 12-year-old girls in ads meant to entice migrant men to come to Wales. Most members of this council are from the Middle East, India and Pakistan. I think I'm going to throw up. I think a lot of people would throw up after that. But anyway, Elon Musk is in support of that, and he's reposted that comment because it is wrong on so many levels. Now, I actually have the clip here, which I'll show you, this ad, which that post relates to. Let's see what you guys in the comments think about it. Please be sure to get in the comments and give your feelings.
Hello and welcome to Wales. We understand being a refugee isn't easy. They go through so much. Fleeing your country is difficult, but Wales wants to help you feel welcome. The Welsh Refugee Council is here to help you. You can contact them here. Wales is seen as a nation of sanctuary. We welcome anyone and everyone. We recognise your skills and talent. The Welsh Refugee Council offers a lot of support, including
ESOL classes, which means English for speakers for other languages. It may be hard to learn our language, so we offer support. Employment. You may feel stressed about employment, but we can help. They help you to apply for bank accounts, child benefits, and they can help with housing. It's very important to have a warm place that you can call home. Education. Children have the right to education. Play for children. We know how important it is for children to socialise. Help finding doctors. It's extremely important to have healthcare.
Not only this, but Wales offers free education and healthcare.
There are many job opportunities here in Wales. IKEA works closely with the Welsh Refugee Council, providing jobs for refugees that come from all over the world.
On the screen now are some basic Welsh phrases.
Shemai.
Hello.
Borda.
Good morning.
So yeah, I mean, that's the gist of it. That's not the full advert, but yeah, quite clearly promoting jobs for refugees and immigrants and promoting them to come to go to Wales. Don't know if we have anyone from Wales in the chat. But let us know how you feel about that.
I was going to say, I highlighted this yesterday, actually, and did that video. But I did notice that Voice of Wales, Voice of Wales, they highlighted this before it blew up, I think, yesterday, because they mentioned it. They have tried to highlight this before, and nothing's been done about it. So that makes it even worse. The fact that now it's actually going viral. I did put a few extra clips up on my one, but I think is it the Welsh Refugee Council? Is that who it is that's doing this? I think their account got blocked, or not blocked, but it got locked, so no one can put any comments or anything now. So they're obviously acting guilty, and they know what they've done. So that's what
it's not surprising because, obviously they're going to block things and cover things up because they don't want it shown. But how the hell, in this current climate, with all these grooming scandals going on, are children being used to target refugees and migrants to come to the UK and work?
That's a question I want answered, and I want to hear if the Refugee Council of Wales answers it, because that question I think has been put to them as well, and that was a very
I couldn't believe it, honestly. When I saw that, I just couldn't believe it. I thought, all these children being abused. and they're using them to promote, the people that are abusing them basically to come over here. It's not good. It's not
Bluebell's
good.
mentioned
It's,
another
pretty
Labour
wrong.
advert in the comments, Royal British Media. I haven't seen it.
Have you
but
seen the Labour advert with those animal masks and listened to the words? I haven't actually. I haven't seen any mention of any Labour advert of animal masks. But I will look into it. So I will write that down because these things need to be known to myself. Thank you for bringing that up.
Blondie makes a very good point in comments as well.
It was written down, ready for later for me to research. Yeah. Labour have lost their way. They have indeed. They lost their way a long time ago. They lost their way before they even got into power. They're wrong-uns, complete wrong-uns. Blondie, welcome to the stream. Is this for real? The parents should be ashamed to allow their young daughters to do this. Yeah, and that's another good point, actually, the parents. I wonder
if any of the parents have come forward, because that's it's a good question. I mean, I wonder if they've got parents, if they've come from a care system, or if the school even told the parents this, or Refugee Council of Wales even told the parents they were doing this. So it would be good to hear from a parent of one of these in the advert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope that the school at least got parental consent, because the school could just be saying, right, we're doing an advert today, pick a couple of girls, speak some lines and that, without consent. So first you'd hope that they'd actually gone for consent, and then you'd wonder why they gave consent. Unless they lied to the parents.
Yeah, but as a parent, when you send your kids to school, you don't know what they're going to be taught, do you? You just put your trust in the teachers, in the school that you're sending your child to, and you hope they're going to be educated correctly. I mean, obviously
which is where
I've heard other stories of what they're teaching them in religious education now as well, which is all wrong. But
this is why there's all them gender politics and that going on in schools, because parents are trusting the schools and the teachers, and then the kids are coming home with stories saying, "Oh, mummy, Mrs. whoever said I can be a boy or a girl or whatever," and it's just so that's all going on. So again, you wonder what's going on with these adverts as well. Are they just choosing these kids? But especially if this video is going to be going out to millions of people, which quite likely it is, and is the plan, then I think the parents would have given consent. So yeah, I'd say unless I just said,
just replying to Blondie, the song behind the advert. I mean, which one is that, Blondie? Because I do remember there was a Labour advert that was banned, wasn't there, last week? Do you remember? And it had that song playing, which was in Spanish or something. And when they translated the words, it was, well, I can't repeat it on this show, but it was all along the same lines and graphic, etc., etc. So, and then Labour Party took that advert down when people started mentioning it. Do you know what I mean? Why did they not vet this first and check what the words were to begin with? I might pull that
that's why,
in the week. But yeah, there was that.
Yeah, do it, because something that I would have pulled up as well, hot topics. But yeah, there was something about that I read about the words to these songs, and the words were pretty horrific, to say the least.
I think it was on YouTube to view. I don't know if it got taken off, but it definitely was on there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so late arrivals now, going in with the biased comments. Had this been a Tory government and Elon wanted them out, then would he have posted Tory abusers? Well, this is a thing, and we just discussed this. I don't know whether you were here when we discussed it, but there's no evidence that's come to light of there being any Tory abusers. As I said earlier, no doubt there probably is some in there, but have we heard about it yet? Has the stories been told? He is not going after abusers, he is going after Labour abusers. This hardly seems fair, biased. Well,
if any evidence comes to light, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, but this is it. I mean, Labour are in power. They're the ones that everyone wants out, and they're the ones that are currently covering things up and abusing. So, of course, he's going to call it out. If any of this was going on when the Conservatives were in power, I'm sure that would have been brought to attention as well, because Tommy Robinson is one of the guys that highlights all of these issues and brings them to light, whether they're happening. Doesn't matter what party you are, doesn't matter who you are, you could be his best friend. If you're doing it, he's going to call you out. And I think if he hasn't done that in the past with Conservatives, then there has been no evidence come to light to suggest that they have anything to do with it. There's nothing on the cover-up, regarding Conservatives either now. All of this happened, 10 years ago, nearly 10 years ago. A lot of these stories, the cover-ups, and when Keir Starmer was head of the Criminal Prosecution Service. So again, it's Keir Starmer, it's Labour who were at the heart of it even many years ago. Everyone's saying that Labour have covered this up. Labour's covered it up. Keir Starmer, when he was head of the CPS, has covered this up. There's nothing been about the Conservatives. There's no evidence on the Conservatives doing anything. And if there were, then that would be brought to light. So that answers your question. Yeah, I guess you agree.
I do. Well said. Yeah, couldn't say anything better myself.
Yeah. Oh, this is you. Are you commenting? Are you doing this on purpose? Like I read out your comments to highlight, you know.
You must be on a
actual
bit
guest.
of a delay. You must be on a bit of a delay because that was a long time ago.
Yeah, no, like I said, that was a long talk about late arrivals post. So there's been a few comments.
So if you bring up the most recent, Brum Pilgrim might not bother voting in the future to show them all. I don't think that's a good idea at all. If you think about it, Labour have only got 9.6 million votes to get themselves in power. 20 million people didn't vote. So if those 20 people voted for somebody worth voting for to make a change, to make a difference, it could happen easily. This is what I think, you know, the people that don't vote don't realise the power they've got. I mean, have a look at other candidates. Is there no one that you like, Brum Pilgrim? Have you had a look at Nick Tenconey? Ben Habib, things he says. Rupert Lowe. I mean, there's a few free names there that I'd point you in the direction of.
But that was a big discussion. Where you say might not bother voting in the future. That's what a lot of people said when just before Labour got into power during the last general elections. There's a lot of people said the same as you. They're not going to bother voting in the future. They're not going to bother voting now. Either because they didn't trust anyone to give their vote to or as a punishment to Labour. But because they didn't vote is what got Labour in and has created a lot of these issues that we're having now. Had they have said, okay, even though the Conservatives have done wrong, I'll still give them the vote or even vote for the Reform Party. But yeah, Labour didn't win by a lot of votes.
They didn't. It was the first past the post. The way they did it, that's the thing. And now what they're trying to do is they're trying to cancel the elections in May because they know that in May they're probably going to lose a hell of a lot of votes to, let's say, Reform, just because people want to change, even though Nigel Farage has sort of got a bit off track. There's still a lot of good MPs within the party. But that's the thing. Yeah. He's trying to now cancel the elections in May, the council lines. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to redraw the council lines because there's different elections with Parliament and council. And what he's trying to do now is draw the lines differently to include voters that he knows he's got that aren't going to deter from this. So you're going to have to look really carefully into this because he's trying to pass all these things through the back door. And, we're not going to know much else about it. Give me 2 secs, sweet. RPM. Got to know.
When the barking of the dog occurs, One Gen Media goes. Rightfully so. Good guard, dog. So, anyway, right, we've got 17 watching now, so we've doubled our numbers. This is great. This is good. To the 17, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and comment, ask your questions, get in on the debate, get in on the discussion, and we'll answer your questions. So, let's go into some more that we have here. Right. Comments, late arrival again. I'm not trolling, just providing information. I guess that is in regards to this one. When the last inquiry was on, they went to Nottingham and had 30 days of testimony. Who for Nottingham? Robert Jenrick. How many days did he attend? 0. What inquiry was this? Was this the J inquiry? I think that's what it was called. That happened a long time ago. That's apparently 500 pages long and mentioned Rotherham only once. Apparently this is why they call him for an inquiry, though a new inquiry, is because the last one was not a very good one. Didn't exactly delve into the issue that needs delving into. So yeah, I don't know about that.
Does he mean MP when he put WP?
Oh yeah. Robert Jenrick is for Conservatives, isn't he?
I didn't know he was Nottingham's MP. No?
I'm here. Hello, I'm RBM. So, hello, Brian. Welcome to the stream. Bluebell says Tory could have done something when they were in power and did nothing, and now Labour Sentence is cut off. Yeah, the Tory could have done something. Kemi Badenoch, to give her credit, did challenge Keir Starmer quite well in the last PMQs on Wednesday. I have the full video on my channel of that debate between Starmer and Badenoch. But she did highlight some key issues, and she did bring up the issues. She did pretty well, but I guess one thing that they kept digging her with was the fact that she didn't mention any of this, throughout the years before, and that she hadn't brought it up. I don't know why that is.
I don't think Kemi's going to be leading the Tory party in the next general election. I think she's just going to have a couple of years to, I guess, do the same kind of job as Nigel Farage did, just kind of,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
problems, ask a few questions, and I think she'll be replaced. I mean, he said in there,
she's not doing too bad.
Robert Jenrick's coming out with some good stuff, which I agree. I think he is. I did a couple of videos on Robert Jenrick. He definitely seems like the best person to lead the Tories, I suppose, if they need a new leader. But
yeah, I don't know. Robert Jenrick's sort of love him or hate him. I guess there's a lot of people saying, he's really good, but there's a lot of people saying that he's not. To be fair, Kemi Badenoch, I don't think she's doing too badly. So far, all the debates that she's had with Keir Starmer, etc., in Parliament, I thought were quite entertaining. I thought she did a good job. So, yeah, of course, I'll never vote for her or her party, but for anyone that does, she ain't doing a bad job. Of course, I'm voting for no one at the moment. I'm still on the fence. If there was a general election tomorrow, I'd vote, obviously. But for now, I'm not siding with any party because I don't know. Reform. I don't like what Reform have done, especially with the whole Tommy thing and throwing him under the bus, slandering him. Whereas I was a big Reform supporter before that. But yeah, I don't know. The thing is like Rupert Lowe, he's been doing absolutely fantastic. And some of his speeches in Parliament have been fantastic. And he's still got my vote, and he's a Reform party. So if I support Rupert Lowe, I support Reform, right? You'd assume. But then again, I like Nick Tanconi, I like everything he's saying, so I also support UKIP. But I can't vote from both, and yeah, I can't follow. So I'm on the fence, keeping my eyes on it, seeing what happens down the line, seeing if UKIP can grow strong enough to actually challenge anyone in power. And if they can, then, well, fingers crossed and let's hope so. But someone else that we have that could challenge the establishment, challenge government, and possibly be our next Prime Minister is Andrew Tate and the BRUV party, Britain Restoring Underlying Values. I laugh. Like every time I see him, see him do something, I do laugh because I think his speeches, he's a powerful speaker and I think his speeches are fantastic, but I just can't get my head around, is he serious? He seems pretty serious. There's a lot of people out there already voting for him who say he's pretty serious, but he's got no chance, has he? Or has he? I don't know too much about Tate. I've heard things, I've heard stories. This was one of the little interviews he gave to the press to show how serious he actually is. So let's play that now.
Me becoming UK Prime Minister within the next 10 years is somewhere near 100%, because I'm one of the most well-known people on the planet who can self-fund, and everybody understands, even if you don't like me, I get things done. I will be the next UK Prime Minister. I guarantee that there is a timeline that everybody is going to live in. Every single person watching this video at some point in the future is going to watch me become the Prime Minister of the UK, and I will fix every single problem. A previously once great nation. The UK was the greatest nation in the world. We ruled the seas, and it has fallen and failed in the sight of this eternal wokeness, garbage, feminism crap. And I'm going to fix all of it.
Do you think women will vote for you?
Me.
Women would vote for you?
Women have voted for me every single night of my life since I was 16 years old, sir, because my house is full of them. Thank you.
His house is full of them. So, yeah, that's a little bit of Andrew Tate. Now, there's a lot more out there at the moment where he's been speaking, behind a desk and that, already looking like a PM. To be honest, he says some good stuff. I mean, a lot of that is what we want to hear, as someone's going to fix the problem. No holds barred, no pussyfooting around the situation. I'm going to fix the fucking problem. And that's what he's exactly saying in a lot of his interviews. But come on, this is Andrew Tate. It's like people are saying there, about the women. Will the women vote for you? And he's like, yeah, they voted for me all my life. My house is full of them. He's arrogant as well, But there's a lot of clips where it looks like he's been beating women, like with a belt, and you know, saying "show your bruises" to the camera and stuff like that. The thing is with Andrew Tate is like people don't really know how real that is. I'm not sure. I haven't looked deep enough into it. Could be, could not be. But apparently he's very much into the bondage and the dominating aspect of the bedroom that some women actually enjoy. Like, I can't see it, but apparently they do. And yeah, so a lot of people are saying that, you know, it's not actual beatings, it's to do with his sex life, if you like. But I don't know. That's Andrew Tate. You know, people love him or they hate him. He's got 10 million followers.
I can't say I know much about him, to be honest with you. I can't really comment. I mean, I've read a few headline stories that I've seen in the newspapers. I think every speech he says sounds like it's been written by someone from WWF. Like you said, he's arrogant, egotistical. Has he been on Love Island? I say he comes across like he might have. I
think he's English, born and raised in Luton, home and city of Tommy Robinson. So he's seen all the shit. I think most of his but I think most of his life he's lived abroad. I think he went off and lived abroad, but he's Romanian as well. Apparently he was in a Romanian prison to do with possible trafficking. Blondie says, I saw that one on Tate. It is a wind-up, tongue-in-cheek. Well, this is it. I thought at first it's a wind-up, tongue-in-cheek, but he's everywhere with this. He's created a manifesto. He's created everything. And he's asking for votes. You know, I think it would have come out as a joke by now. But still, I still can't take it seriously. There's no chance that he's going to become the next Prime Minister.
Has he signed the pledge?
I don't know. Someone will have to pop them that question and see if they get a response. But yeah, I don't know. Raoul says, seriously, guys, you really give this idiot airtime. I considered not giving him airtime, but tonight's live is on Hot Topics, and he is a hot topic, unfortunately, because he's got 10 million followers on X, and a lot of people love him or hate him, follow him. Hell of a lot of people, and he's got a lot of power. So that is a hot topic. It's current news, especially in the past week, and that is why I'm giving it some airtime. So, yeah, whatever's hot, we'll cover. Bluebell says, I do agree with a lot he says, to be fair, but Prime Minister, exactly. Like I said, in a lot of these interviews, you know, he's not pussyfooting around the situation. He's saying it how it is and saying, I will be the Prime Minister. I will get this sorted. And I like hearing that. We all like hearing that. Of course we do. But he's not going to be Prime Minister. There's no way. I mean, but then he's got the influence of the young, hasn't he? Like late teens and early 20s and that are apparently his biggest following now, who in their sort of late teens, early 20s, and actually votes and is interested in politics. There are a few out there, of course, but there's not a lot. There's a very small number. Now, if Andrew Tate was to all of a sudden, you know, have a serious political aim to win a seat or become Prime Minister, he's going to get their vote and he's going to appeal to the young, which, yeah, aren't into politics, but they'd be into Andrew Tate and they'd vote for him anyway.
Don't underestimate Tommy, though, because there's a hell of a lot of that age group I notice at the United Kingdom marches now.
There is.
He's taking interest in politics, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, he's gaining a following, and yeah, a lot of young people follow Tommy as well. But yeah, the threshold of Andrew Tate to young people is massive.
Yeah, but didn't Tommy have 10 million when he had a YouTube channel before it got banned? I'm sure he had like millions. It was in the millions.
What sort of teens and young 20s?
Oh, I don't know what age group.
Sort of that kind of age group. Don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know what else Tate does. So I don't really pay much attention to him.
But usually they're not that into it. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd just highlight a little bit of that anyway. So we're not going to spend too much of tonight on Andrew Tate because he's not everyone's cup of tea. But we've discussed it. Toxic masculinity. I've heard that phrase given about him many times as well. Like I say, you will love him or you hate him. To be honest, there's good and there's bad in Andrew Tate. Like some of the speeches and stuff he comes out with. Yeah, he's quite good. Motivational. He does say a lot of motivational stuff, which I think is good. But then there's a lot of bad that comes with him as well. So you kind of just have to take what you can from him if you want to take anything at all. Elisa Krogan says, just what UK needs, a former Romanian prisoner as PM. Who is also Muslim. Now, I've already said that doesn't matter because no one's against Muslims. There are very good Muslims. There's a lot of friends in this country that are Muslims. It's Islam. I think that's where the problem is. I don't know what Tate follows, but he is indeed a Muslim follower. This is a Christian country, and our Christian values need to be kept to. Now, can a Muslim prime minister take on our Christian cultures and values and promote them? I don't know. It depends what their heart says, doesn't it? But yeah, that is another good point. He said UK should be Christian, but he converted to Islam, didn't he? That's like I said, I don't know if he follows Islam. I don't know too much about him. I've only heard things about him over the years and seen interviews in the past. And always thought he was quite an interesting character, but I don't actually know that much about him, in all fairness. So, yeah. He said if he fails in the first 30 days, he will quit, or he will tell us the people that have stopped him succeeding. That's a case of having your cake and eating it. Yeah. Thing is he's not even going to get 30 days, is he? I guess you have nothing to say on it. You were a bit quiet. Okay.
Yeah, so... what, 30 days in power? Is that what he means?
Yeah, if
voted in.
Yeah, he said if he fails in the first 30 days, he'll quit. But like I said, he's not even going to get into power. So anyway, let's move on to a better topic, shall we? Let's forget about him now, and let's find something else to give you. Tommy Robinson, Piers Morgan, Paul Thorpe, all coming up. Let's just play this clip first before we move on to those things. This is Elon Musk, a bit of Elon Musk when he was speaking.
People that have been arrested for just social media posts is bananas. It's in the thousands.
Yes, several thousand people have been given prison sentences in the UK for social media posts where there was no explicit link to actual violence, but they just said it encouraged violence. Like, well, did anyone actually do anything as a result of that? And then they have a prison overcrowding situation in the UK, so they're quite literally releasing convicted pedophiles and putting people in jail for Facebook posts in Britain.
That is so wild.
So that's Elon Musk, obviously, very passionate. He actually reposted this today. This is an interview he did with Joe Rogan 2 months ago, but he's reposted this highlight today to keep up with the current, topics of Great Britain and what's happening, and his shock at the whole situation. I haven't watched the full interview, but I do plan on watching it because it does seem quite interesting. But that was the latest Elon Musk post today.
That's the thing. He hasn't just surfaced under a rock, got involved in British politics, and then gone back under the rock, has he? He keeps on continuing, which I think is positive. So that's good.
Well, this is it. A few days ago, he went a bit quiet, and there wasn't that many posts going on X about Great Britain or our politics. And I thought, it's a bit odd. He's gone silent, and then the next day he's back full force. Attacking Labour, attacking Keir, supporting Tommy, everything to do with Tommy, supporting Rupert Lowe, supporting Nigel Farage, who have made 2 excellent speeches in Parliament this week. And I'm going to post a video, I think, later or tomorrow, just those 2 speeches, because I think they need to be seen by more.
Have you got one for the show? Because I don't think I've seen them. I missed that last one.
I do have here somewhere. No, I don't, because I think it was about 4 minutes long, so I didn't get any highlights. But I could have played it.
I'll find it after and have a watch, because I've heard a few people mention it and talk about it, but it seems to be one good speech followed by one bad speech that he keeps doing in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. But another hot topic that has been going on this past week is Piers Morgan, Tommy Robinson, now Paul Thorpe. So here's what happened. This is a short clip from the end of Paul's thing, his ending notes to Piers Morgan, who has been obviously slandering and defaming Tommy all across X over the past week.
Bullying and give Tommy a fair crack of the whip on camera when he's released from 21 hours a day solitary confinement, 1-to-1, man-to-man, face-to-face, and let the public decide for themselves. So, Piers Morgan, I am officially calling you out to accept this challenge. Accept it like a man. Or you can continue to make yourself look a bit of a prat in front of the world. Personally, I don't think you're up to it. We'll see.
So yeah, that was Paul Thorpe, and it's basically he did a 5-minute message all about Tommy and Piers Morgan. Basically calling Piers Morgan out. As you've seen there, those were his ending notes. If you want to watch the full message, and go along to Paul Thorpe's channel and give that a watch. But Piers Morgan saw that video by Paul Thorpe, and he actually made a tweet himself, or a post, shall we say. And this is what he put. No problem. What cell is he in? Absolute twat, absolute arrogant cock. That's what I think of Piers Morgan. And that's a typical kind of comment that Piers Morgan makes. Now, Piers Morgan is a troll, and he will always try and troll people that support anything that he doesn't support. So, yeah, no problem. What cell is he in? What do you think of that?
I know what happened after. But yeah, he is a twat.
So, yeah, what happened after, anyway, is that Piers Morgan reposted Paul Thorpe's message there. Asked what cell he is in. Now, Paul Thorpe, probably excited, probably thinking, ooh, I just got a repost by, Piers Morgan. Obviously went back to Piers Morgan to follow up this and reply, and found out that he was banned from Piers Morgan's channel, blocked. Paul Thorpe blocked by Piers Morgan. So he doesn't even get to reply to this question, unfortunately, which is quite interesting. But then that's Piers Morgan. If you don't disagree with him, if you try and question him, and if he can't answer your question, he'll just block you anyway, because that's the kind of guy he is. He's a troll. He gets people to make these videos. It's bad publicity is good publicity. Piers Morgan will absolutely eat that. And he'll keep on trolling. So that's what happened. Paul Thorpe blocked by Piers Morgan. Now, interestingly, someone then put this reply to Piers Morgan. This Mick the Skins. He's got, it's just a small channel on X, but he put, fair play that you have the balls to repost this, Piers, but let me give you it from the angle for someone that doesn't particularly like Robinson or yourself. Both for the very same reason. Your egos are swollen and are all that ever seem to matter. What would be good is an honest conversation. Put the ego aside for half an hour and talk. I hate admitting this, but despite my views on both of you being unfavourable, I have to admit you both bring important things to the table. Goes on quite a bit, as you can see. Anyway, that was an interesting comment, and Piers Morgan then reposted that comment and said, I think you make a very good and respectfully made points, and yes, I would be up for interviewing him again when he gets out of prison properly. Interesting. So basically, he makes a mockery comment to Paul Thorpe, blocks him, but then replies to this guy saying, I would be up for it, properly. I don't believe Piers. I think he's full of shit, to be honest. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I just think he's going for the headlines, isn't he? He doesn't care who he drops under the bus or who he badmouths, a lot like a lot of the politicians, as long as he gets the headlines. That's pretty much how his behaviour looks to me. Yeah, that's it.
That is Piers Morgan all over. I think I even put a comment somewhere saying, I'll just leave him to it. He's an epic troll. He's a twat.
I mean,
which is kind of true.
He's done for a while. I mean, what platform is he on now? Where does he do his shows? Or his
Piers?
Yeah.
It's YouTube. Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube.
Yeah, so I haven't bothered even watching that ever. So I say ever since it came off TV, I think, years ago.
But he gets some really interesting people on there.
He's always been good at doing interviews, I suppose. Obviously, he gets to the bottom of stuff, but I think it was just some of the comments he made, his attitude. I just kind of lost interest, and he just, I don't know, just watch other people, didn't you? Listen to other people that, have more stuff. So I haven't really followed him recently either. Obviously, I see the comments coming up on X and this, that, and the other, and again, he just looks like he's going there to make his own headlines. He doesn't care, who he brings down.
No, and Ryan Lopez says, let's go into it. Grooming. We can't go into it because we're now 55 minutes into the show and we have already covered it. So we've now covered that, and we have moved on to the stuff that, who cares? In your
Feel free
opinion?
to watch it on replay.
A lot of
after,
people,
right?
a lot of people care. So we still have 16 people who care. Eliza says, I like Paul too. Watch him just to keep up in the UK. Same, I think Paul's a decent bloke. Very friendly guy, a very important character. He's got a big voice and he's using that. Of course, Piers Morgan doesn't like that, so we always can expect his attitude. So, yeah. So anyway, the history of Piers Morgan and Tommy Robinson. This was the last time they met. This isn't the full interview. This is just a couple of minutes of it. And basically what happened in their last contest over a desk. I think it's brilliant, like, that last time they met, because Tommy puts up a good point, you know. Let's face it, he's the expert. He's read the book. He knows what he's talking about. Piers can't answer his questions, so just goes in for attacks and slander. And
This
I
is
think
why
he just made
we
them
need
stupid.
freedom of speech. This is why.
Yeah.
We might not have to agree, but we have to at least talk to each other. I mean, that's brilliant. I do miss Tommy. At least he says it as it is. But this is why we need freedom of speech, and we need to keep freedom of speech, because we have to have these conversations. We have to be able to talk to each other. You know, all this is Islamophobia word and everything, trying to hush everyone up.
I remember that very well. And it pissed me off then because, you know, I wanted Piers Morgan to answer properly. I wanted him to answer his questions. Has he read the book? Yes or no? Does he understand the book? Yes or no? But he couldn't, so he resorted to attacks and slander because he couldn't answer the questions. So all he can do is then shout over the person, not let them talk about, you know, what they're talking about. And let's face it, Tommy's the expert. He should have listened, not just try to talk over him and shout and attack. And it's disgusting. So when he's come out with that tweet there saying, yes, he would be willing to interview him again properly, will it be properly this time, or will he resort to those tactics of shouting over him? And
we see that behaviour all the time from the extreme left, from the socialists, the globalists, the Islamists. That's exactly how they act when they're out on the streets, just like Piers Morgan acted.
And he's, you know, and the way Piers
come back with what you want.
And the way Piers is sitting there said, yeah, show some respect. And Tom's like, respect? Have you read this book? It's like, but yeah, no, Piers, you can't, like Blondie says, Piers once again doesn't let someone speak, and that's true. It's the only thing I don't like about Piers Morgan, because on his I do watch the Piers Morgan uncensored show because he has some fantastic guests on there, like from all walks of life.
Has he actually ever answered, or has anyone asked him if he has actually read the book yet? Because how long ago was that? 10 years, was it? That clip.
It's about that, yeah. It's about that.
I bet you he still hasn't even read the book, and he's going to be having all these opinions.
No, he probably hasn't, and that's the thing. Like, he just has his own opinion, shouts over him. It's disgusting, his behaviour. So if they did meet again properly, hopefully they can have a proper discussion, you know, a mature discussion, not just a shout, a match and a talk over and not let you speak that Piers Morgan does. But then Piers Morgan, they never changed. Like I said, I do watch his show because some of the guests that he has are, you know, incredible guests, and they have some great points, like some of the philosophers and scientific people especially. But he talks over them too. As soon as they say something he doesn't like, he shouts over them and over them and over them, doesn't answer any questions. And it's just, I hate that about Piers Morgan. I think he's an arrogant twat. But let's hope that they do meet again and we get a second round interview, because that could be quite entertaining, you know.
I agree with Bluebell as well. Yeah, give him an interview now, and Tommy isn't going to be like that, and just let him speak over him. He's had a lot of experience now, giving speeches and talking himself, and he's learned a lot more stuff. So he's got a lot more arsenal behind him than he did 10 years ago, as in, you know, words and knowledge. So.
Yeah, but he had the words and knowledge there 10 years ago, you know, and he was saying that on the show. But Piers Morgan, like I said, he was just shouting over him, calling him names and, you know, basically disrespecting his guest, if you like. He's talking about put the book down, don't disrespect, and this and that. Piers Morgan's sitting there disrespecting Tommy by talking over him, not answering any questions. He made himself look like an absolute fool at the end of the day. And I think he's, you know, I think he's a bit sour over how embarrassed he feels. And it's probably one of the reasons he hates Tommy even more and keeps on dishing out the dirt. So, yeah, I think Tommy should not go near him. No, that's the thing, but Tommy will, because he wants to be able to say, right, I've taught Piers Morgan a lesson, but Piers Morgan will never learn. He'll never give in. He'll never accept defeat, even if he does, you know. Yeah.
I mean,
Good,
I don't know if you're going
later.
to bring it up, but it wasn't the only person he blocked either. He blocked Sammy Woodhouse as well, didn't he? And if anyone's going to have the information, have the right to talk about, the grooming scandal, it's going to be her. And he's gone and blocked her as well. So what does that actually say about Piers Morgan? He's not interested in the truth, is he?
No, I don't think Piers Morgan is interested in anything but himself and his own ego. At the end of the day, Sammy Woodhouse, fantastic person, and she's been through the old grooming scandal stuff herself, and she's come through it, held her head high, and she's carrying on now with her own journalism and trying to uncover the truth. But she supports Tommy Robinson also. If you support Tommy Robinson, Piers don't want to have anything to do with you. He doesn't care. It's like a lot of people are saying, stop calling out Tommy for his past and his criminal backgrounds and everything else. Focus on the good that he's actually done. And let's face it, he's done a hell of a lot of good. The reason that this is so mainstream now, this news, and the way it's all over the world, even to the top, Elon Musk is sharing and looking into this. This is down to Tommy Robinson because he's been trying to highlight it for well over a decade. And thankfully, it's finally being looked into. Well, it's not being looked into. They're trying to cover it up still, but it will be looked into. I think Reform are saying they'll pay for a private inquest. So, yes, there's a lot to look forward to with that getting uncovered and justice done. So, Bluebell says, Tommy is not so complacent now. He was young there and he was on TV. He would certainly have a run for his money. But even back then, he knew, what he was talking about. You could see how passionate he was in that little interview clip there I played, because he had the knowledge. He is an expert in his field. He's read that book. He knows exactly what it's all about, and he's trying to show the world. So, yeah, he's got a lot more in his arsenal now. I think he still give as good as he does, but, with Piers Morgan, he'll still get talked over.
Was that a standard riwayat, which is a narration of the Quran, or was that Tommy's actual Quran? Because Tommy brought out a book, didn't he? Isn't there one Tommy's Quran?
Yeah, Tommy's released one called Muhammad's Quran, which I haven't read yet, but I am going to. I'm still reading his others.
What he was holding up then wasn't.
No, the one he was holding up was the actual Quran, the official Quran. But I think he wrote the book. I think he wrote the book Muhammad's Quran, which basically lays everything out in terms that we can understand, to understand the Quran and read it. And it's something that I'm going to be reading as well in the future, as I want to know all about it myself. So, yeah, go get the books. I can't believe they put Tio in jail. If they insisted on jailing him, why not at home with an ankle bracelet? They need to release him as soon as possible.
Exactly what it should have been. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and that's what people are calling for at the moment, saying he's a political prisoner. Because if he wasn't a political prisoner for a civil act, then he would be out on a bracelet. But the fact they've kept him in prison on solitary confinement, and they're even trying to use terrorism charges against him to get into his phone, something to do with the cover-up. A lot of people believe it's to do with the cover-up, and he's got information on Labour and they want it. That is why he's in, but everyone's fighting for it. I think Ezra Levant has got in some top lawyers and that who are looking into it as well, trying to get it sorted.
It's a good time to mention February the 1st as well, because there isn't much time left, and we need as many people there as possible.
Yeah, February the 1st is the next Uniting the Kingdom movement event. It's going to be held in London. There's currently no information as to where it's going to be, but it's likely to be in the same place that it has been before, around Victoria Station, around Parliament Square, that area. More details will come out as and when they have it. I think they're still coercing with the police to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible and that it's safe for people to join. I think that's the main thing, is that they are kept safe. So yeah, February the 1st, not long left now. How long?
And the
3
reason
weeks?
this one is to release political prisoners and to release Tommy. So that's the main reason for it. So.
Yeah, standing up for political prisoners, standing up for Tommy himself being a political prisoner and having a voice and speaking out about it. I'm going to be there. I'll always be there covering it, and I'll have a documentary uploaded once it's done and dusted. Put that on the channel. Hopefully we can get some more interviews with the inside people. If anyone wants to know what one of these rallies is like, just have a look on my channel. I've got a documentary on United Kingdom 3. And there's a few people on there that gave short interviews: Baraka Amui, Shady Shay, etc. Harman Singh, Andrew Bridger, and there's a few. It's not got as many views, which I'm surprised about, but there's some good stuff on there, and it also shows you exactly what it's like to be in the midst of the crowd and enjoying one of these rallies. There is some boring stuff, which is the stage stuff. I'm thinking about leaving all the stage stuff out next time and just making a rally video that's more watchable, because I think people get bored of that bit. Because it's all online anyway, the stage stuff for anyone wanting to see the full speeches. But I will be making another one, so that's good. And if you want to watch the last one, go and do so. So let's get that up a bit. Share it if you can as well. Hopefully people can. So more people can see it. But yeah, we have covered the United Kingdom 4 coming February the 1st. There'll be more information on it. I'm going to release a little promotional video over the next couple of days regarding that as well. So hopefully we can get that out to as many people as possible, share it, and try and build the movement way bigger than it already is. And so far the movement is huge, but we want it to be immense, massive. So I think that's about it then. So I think we're coming to the end of the show. I've highlighted everything that we were going to highlight today, all the hot topics. All I can say is thank you for everyone for joining again. It wasn't as big as last week. We had 170, I think, at one point. Today we had up to 20, but still, of course, absolutely respect your time and thank you for sticking with us for tonight's live show. We will be back again next Sunday at 8 p.m, as always, and we will cover, the following week's hot topics. So let's see what comes up. And anything else you want to say before we go?
I thought you had a few more topics for us to discuss, but I think I'm going to do a show in a few days during the middle of the week as well. Real British Media will be on with me, so we'll cover up some more stuff that we haven't covered tonight. And I think that's all of it really. Covered the 1st of the Feb. Signed the pledge. You got the web address for the pledge, so it's important.
The pledge.org.uk. That's the link. You'll find it on my channel. It will be on my channel's description. And I think I've got it at the description on every video anyway.
I was going to say, have a read of it. If you agree with it, sign it. If you don't. But definitely have a read of it and see what you all think. If you like it.
And if you want to see... obviously we want to get as many signatures on the pledge as possible. If anyone hasn't seen my pledge video, send it. Sign it.
That's a good video.
Have a look on my channel. Yeah, I made like a mini film, kind of mini film / promotional thing. It's quite fun. It's quite good. I enjoyed doing it. So if anyone wants to see that, have a look at my other videos, and that's on the pledge, and all the information on the pledge is in there. But thank you very much again, everyone, and we shall see you next week. Thank you, 1Gen, for joining me, and I shall see you midweek on one of your streams. But that is for us for now. That is RBM and 1Gen over and out. Goodbye and take care. Have a fantastic evening.
Bye-bye.